In the short time that I've been here in Washington, nothing has frustrated me more than false choices like the one the president laid out tonight.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio, another corrupt lawmaker amongst many in D.C., would get roasted by famed comedian Conan O'Brien.
But the Republican Party is on the mend. One rising star on the right is Senator Marco Rubio, or as he's known in the Republican Party, our black guy. Yeah.
Who shows how little of a damn he has to give on who he offends, with millions watching and even those he chides in attendance.
I think it is very clear that if members of Congress come in and say, all right, we want to build infrastructure, here's the way we think we can do it. We want to put construction workers back to work, we've got some ideas. I am ready, eager to work with them. The question then is, will Congress do something? If Congress does something, then I can't run against a do-nothing Congress. If Congress does nothing, then it's not a matter of me running against them. I think the American people will run them out of town because they are frustrated and they know we need to do something big.
Realistically speaking, O'Brien would lay into many, including POTUS.
President Obama, you had some great jokes. It was a pleasure watching you stand up here and do what I do. So now it's only fair that I get to do what you do. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. For the next 15 minutes, I'll be mired in a tense, dysfunctional standoff with Congress. This is going to be fun.
We have never had a former presidential candidate, who was impeached and then indicted for trying to overturn an election. Never. In all of our history.
Former Democrat Party advisor, Bill Clinton staffer and current host at ABC News, George Stephanopoulos, heard it from O'Brien as well.
Now, as some of you know, this is my second time speaking at this event. I was last here 18 years ago, back in 1995. A lot's changed since then. Today, you can get real-time information on world events from something small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. Back in 95, we called that George Stephanopoulos. I can't see if George is here because there's a crouton in the way.
Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, okay. I'm Singaporean.
This idiot's name is Tom Cotton, a senator from Arkansas, who intentionally asks ridiculous questions so he can look like a tough guy for Fox News. Tom Cotton, quite a perfect name for his party, as O'Brien explains.
That reminds me, also joining us is a congressman from New York named Steve Israel. That's right, he's from New York, and his name is Israel. Now there's pandering, and then there's pandering. That's like having a congressman from South Carolina named Jesus H. Gunn. The name's Gunn. Jesus H. Gunn, I tell you.
Some old guy with some old literature from this socialist party to that, trying to sell it, trying to latch on to the anti-war movement. There's always guys like that. And they're usually, as Howard Fine once said, non-negotiable demands, yelling up at the administration building during the anti-war movement. I know them, but I think the country's going to get to know them. I think we got a problem. We'll see.
Chris Matthews. What more can we say, my loyal audience? Tell me who had the better joke at his dispense.
MSNBC's Chris Matthews is here. Chris Matthews has the only show where the commercial exists just so they can wipe the spittle off the lens.
Was it O'Brien?
In 1971, I had a conversation with a retired beat cop, and he liked Ed Muskie, and he liked Franco, actually. A lot of people don't like Franco, but a lot of people admired Franco. You can think what you think one way or another. We got to ask where people are standing. And I got to tell you, this beat cop, who I met in 1971, I think he died many years ago, he would not vote for Bernie Sanders. And the Democratic Party needs to ask itself, will Chris Matthews' imaginary friends vote for Bernie Sanders? That's the fundamental question.
Or was it the late, great Michael Brooks? I tend to go with the latter here, but hey, that's just me. R.I.P.
Hey, you know, this time of year, we all keep getting pinged with political fundraising asks. But here's the thing. Giving $5 or $10, whatever you can, to Joe Biden's campaign makes a real difference. Let me tell you why. From a guy who's won a couple of these. Donations from grassroots supporters like you made up the majority of Joe's campaign revenue last time. And those $5, $10, $20 donations are what helped him win the election, pull us out of the pandemic, build on the ACA, and pass the biggest climate change investment in history. Those wins were your wins too.
It's that time of year again, and O'Brien doesn't let Dems or Republicans off the hook.
And by the way, I have a question, and I think some of you also have this question. It's been several months since you were reelected, sir. So I'm curious, why are you still sending everyone 5 emails a day asking for more money? You won! Do you have a gambling problem we don't know about? Did you put it all on Gonzaga? You did, didn't you? He did!
All right. Thank you. That's going to be it. That's the time that we're in, where facts are sort of flexible. And
that's why we got Caitlin Collins on the Hill, fact-checking in real time. It was a great interview.
Citing uncredible sources, like citing the New York Post as a credible source and saying that facts are, it's just, I can't believe that we're here.
Caitlin, that was a great interview. All right, moving on.
Anyway, well, now moving on, because that's a big issue when it comes to the American, hold on please with the music. That's a big issue when it comes to the American people.
However one may feel about this exchange, which at the time CNN attempted to do damage control, comedians are always gonna comedian. And when given the platform, they will deliver how they see fit. Meaning...
Also tonight, some of the big names in television news. When it comes to television news, we have a divided media landscape. Okay, Fox News is watched by conservatives. MSC is watched by liberals. And CNN is watched by the people who clean the offices at CNN. Oh, it gets worse.
Lastly, and most hilariously, this from O'Brien takes the cake.
Hollywood can't get enough of your world. Well, tonight I'm excited to announce that Turner Broadcasting is going to make a major television miniseries about the big power players here in Washington. They just finished the casting, and I would like to announce who is going to play who. This is big. Vice President Joe Biden is going to be played by Bob Barker. Former White House advisor David Axelrod will be played by Higgins from Magnum P.I. This was also produced by Steven Spielberg, by the way. Representative Paul Ryan will be played by Mr. Bean. Senator Chuck Schumer will be played by Grandpa Munster. Senator Harry Reid will be played by the old man from the American Gothic painting. Fox News CEO Roger Ailes will be played by Boss Hogg. We signed the deal. Speaker of the House John Boehner will be played by Tan Mom. Secretary of Homeland Security Janet Napolitano will be played by Paul Giamatti. Former White House Chief of Staff and Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel will be played by Stewie from Family Guy. Secretary of State John Kerry will be played by an Easter Island head. I cannot tell those two apart. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts will be played by Buzz Lightyear. Senator Mitch McConnell will be played by Dame Edna. CNN anchor Wolf Blitzer will be played by a Furby. NRA Executive Vice President Wayne LaPierre will be played by the face melt guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark. And finally, White House Press Secretary Jay Carney will be played by Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
If there are any stories that you want to bring to our attention, whether it is the local level, collegiate level, professional level, national level, that you think would be worthy of a story and us covering, there are so many hours in a day and only so much we see. Submit them to me. Get at me on Twitter, on Instagram, and TikTok. Send me a DM, send me a tweet, what have you. We appreciate it. Hope you have a great day.